Hey YouTube, Gordon Miller here. All right, this video is dedicated to Loy Machedo. And, Loy has been nothing but a nice guy. Uh, some of my comments on Quora were collapsed, and so I modified them. I just want to set the record straight that I personally have nothing against Loy. I know he has nothing against me. Loy made a comment talking about one-hit wonders like Vanilla Ice and people like that, and he had tagged me in it to get my attention. So it looked like Gordon Miller, Vanilla Ice, and so are one-hit wonders, and so it's like, fuck you, and so I misunderstood what he had tagged, and so I went off on him, and then I proceeded to answer a few more questions. So probably not a good idea. Of course, Loy was kind enough to come back and go, no, I just tagged you in it. There's a dash. You missed the dash. Yeah, Loy, I missed the dash, man. I'm sorry. And but I stand by some of the things that I said, just so we get the record straight. I never I stand by whatever I say. I try to stick to the facts. I was never said anything derogatory personally about Loy, so I'm not I'm not taking back something that I said, because I wish I hadn't said it, because it's not nice. But thank God for the be nice, be respectful policy on Quora. But Loy has a bunch of books, like a lot of other people on YouTube. They have a bunch of books. And, he may have read them too, so that's great. He claims to have read 290 some books and 310 books or something like that. So, altogether it's like 500 or 600 books in, the first couple of years. Well, that's great. Congratulations. I mean, that's great. I only logged about 250 to 300 books. So, he's a couple hundred books ahead of me. And, and like him, once I had gotten to a certain point, a lot of the information in the books was really redundant. And so there really wasn't anything that I was learning from the books to merit continuing. So I didn't, I keep track of some of the new stuff that I think is really compelling. And my Audible account is full of stuff that I listen to all the time, just to make sure it's like, yeah, okay, I get that. Yeah, that sucks. So, I'm still focusing on that, whenever I can. The observation that I made, about his bookshelf being full of, Adobe CS4, Adobe Photoshop CS4, Adobe Photoshop CS5, the Oxford Dictionary, and a bunch of other things like that. All that's true. I mean, if you look at the Arab TV high definition interview, and you look at the actual titles for the books, they're, at least the ones that are in the front don't have a lot of relevance to some of the things that will help make people's lives better. So I'm not disparaging him. I'm just pointing out that at least the books that people can see in the interview aren't really that earth-shattering. I have my full list of the top 40 books that I recommend out of the 250, and they're screen captures from my digital library. So those are the ones that I've spent time going through once or twice. So I'm sorry about that. I wasn't necessarily trying to point out any specific issue with his book collection. That wasn't my point. I was just concerned that the books may be a prop like they are for Ty Lopez. Now Ty, who, I bought into the 67-step program for $67, and I got $67 worth of value out of it. And I've said that. But Ty also has tons of books, and but he admits, he goes, I haven't read all of them. He goes, most people don't read all of them. He goes, I open it up and I read a section, and for a while he was sharing those sections. But Ty was really upfront about, I haven't read all of those books. And if Loy has read all those books, then great, congratulations. I mean, that's a lot of time and effort invested in that, and I applaud you. I mean, that's terrific. And I want to go on record here too, Loy, as saying I really applaud the fact that you chose to live somewhere that's simpler, that simplifies your life, that reduces the cost of living, so you can make the best use of the funds and resources that you have, so that you can spend time thinking and doing the things that matter most to you. That's, I think that's great. I have no argument with that. I think that's a fantastic strategy. I wish I could do that. If I could move to Thailand and hang out and just think, then that would be great. Maybe the cabana next to yours is available. I don't know, but it sounds like a neat thing to do. And when I was critical of what you were saying about Dubai, I mean, understand that my good friend Ali Al-Shamsi lives in Dubai, so he's not too happy with you about what you're saying about Dubai. But you're right in that things are getting very expensive there, and you said it's almost impossible to justify living there. That's also correct. For a lot of people, it's way too expensive, and but it's only because it's growing so fast that they can't build places fast enough to make places available for everybody. So they had no choice. I mean, they have to do whatever they have to do. So I think I think Dubai is a wonderful place. I love the time I spent there. I will likely become a UAE dual citizen to the U.S. working with Ali, just because it's easier than becoming a U.S. citizen, ironically for him. But if we're going to work together on stuff, we got to be able to be in the same country at the same time for extended periods of time. And Dubai is amazing. I mean, it is very expensive, but that's because people there have a shit ton of money. So okay, so what? I mean, not everybody can afford to live there. That's true. I know. I can't afford $40 million for an apartment in Manhattan either. Or $25 million for a house in the hills in LA. I don't want to do that. I mean, that's a lot of money to tie up into a piece of real estate. I hate real estate as it is. But understand, I mean, I don't know that it's a problem with Dubai. I mean, I think Dubai is a wonderful place. I mean, you have a different experience. I was only there briefly, so and your concerns may be completely valid. The other thing was, I believe very strongly with your Indian background and your desire to vindicate some of the wrongs that are being done by the Indian people in India, that you really believe that you really want those folks to you want India to succeed. And right now, you were, ironically, you were supporting everything that I said about India. A lack of proper infrastructure, complete corruption, lack of health care coverage, the lack of law and order, in terms of rule of law and things like that. And you agreed with all that, and it was great to have you support that, and I appreciate that. So you even went as far as to say one of the biggest problems facing India is the higher incident of rape. I checked out the statistics, based on a per capita in terms of 350 million people versus 1.2 billion, the incidence of rape is 40,000 in India versus 173,000 in the United States. So on a per capita basis, the U.S. is like 16 times worse than India for rape. But, you said that because of cultural and other issues, and because law enforcement's not going to do jack shit about it, then rapes go unreported, largely. And you were talking about people, fathers raping their daughters and all kinds of stuff like that. So, I get it, that it's a serious problem. I'm surprised at the ones, at least, that get publicized in India are 3 or 4 or 5 guys against one girl, and you don't see that as much here in the United States. So most of the rapes in the U.S. are one-on-one. I am kind of shocked by the incidence of like gang or group related crime. It's unbelievable, and I fully support your view that that's a horrific thing to do. I know, if and when I ever go to India, that my wife's not going, and that's a shame. And one of the reasons that that I have no interest in doing a project in India is because of these issues. And so I think it's an issue that they have to try and solve, and I hope they do. But I just wanted to set the record straight. I've got nothing against Loy at all, and it's my hope that Loy and I will get a chance to work together and become friends. I think that he, he's a self-proclaimed #1 branding strategist and personal branding strategist, and I made some comments about the fact that I don't think he's nailed his own brand. His comments are sort of wildly off the chain, 1 minute, and sweet and wonderful the next. I mean, he's a sweet guy. I mean, you got to watch his videos. I mean, I think I watched he's got 1,900 videos, so I didn't watch them all, but he cares about people. He's a genuinely sweet guy, and it's a shame that more people don't get a chance to see that. I mean, a lot of the videos are really kind of in your face, but his YouTube talk, or not YouTube, his TEDx talk, Dubai, for not prejudging people based on all the tattoos and stuff, it was good. I mean, it's about not prejudging people, and so was the the Coca-Cola ad that they had, where it was about not prejudging people because they were chatting about what each other do in the dark, and when they turn the lights on, there was Loy with all the tattoos, and so he's a sweet guy when you talk to him, and then you turn the lights on, and he's got all these tattoos, and people have a perception about that. So, but a great commercial. He's a great guy. I don't mean to be down on him. I can't find where he has a degree in anything, and so I take exception with some of his branding strategies. He's an expert in promoting Loy Machedo, but I don't see how that's something that that extends to other people, and he talks about getting thousands of people better paying jobs and stuff like that, and maybe he has. I mean, I don't know. I mean, the companies that we've helped and the stuff we've done is all a matter of public record. The work we did with clinical data, CLDA as the stock symbol. We started the work with that company in 2005, and and turned that thing around and built it into something insane and helped sell it all. And you look up the stock price. Look up the journey it went from 2005 to 2008 or 9 or whatever it was when it finally got sold. But so whether Loy is an expert or not, if he's helping people, then great. It has nothing to do with what degree you've got or anything else. So Loy, hats off to you. So and there are things that hopefully he and I'll get a chance to discuss. If not, I'll put it in the video. But having 3 different domain names, like thinkpersonalbranding.com, and then his own personal website, and then so it there's lots of usually you want to have one place to funnel people through, and then have them branch off from that, so you can kind of drive traffic in a specific direction. So I like the fact that he's got a low price point to entry. You want to book a hour-long session with him, it's $97. You can book it from his website. You want to talk to him for a whole year long, it's $447, something like that, I believe. But I think he's got an interesting strategy. There are things that I would have done differently, Loy. That you've got some of your early videos talk about the thinkpersonalbranding.com was supposed to come out at $100 a month, which it didn't turn out being $100 a month. So, that's, I can understand that. It came out at, because I mean, $1,200 is a lot. I mean, $447 a year is a lot, but it's, at least you came down off of that price point to a third, but the other video is still out there. So, the idea is that, you had a price point in mind and adjusted the price point. Those are the kind of things that, and I just think that there's, there's so much information out there that it's hard to really make your way through all of it. And so I think that there's some benefit to being able to consolidate some stuff. I mean, you had 1,900 videos, but who can see them all? I mean, it's just, and some of them are kind of pointless and rambling. So and that's fine. I mean, I have this one, it may be pointless and rambling, but you have a following. You seem like a genuinely nice guy. I look forward to getting together one day, maybe. And you're, as Alexa said today, you're 8,880 miles away. So you're on the other side of the world. So if you're still in Dubai, we can get together when I go to see Ali here, and either at the end of this year, sometime early next year. But anyway, I just want to say, I'm sorry, Loy. I didn't mean to offend anybody, and I certainly didn't mean to take any cheap shots. I mean, the questions now are going that I'm roasting you or something like that. I'm not roasting anybody. I was just pointing out that at least on a per capita basis, rape was not as high in India as it was in the U.S. But I understand. We don't know how many are not reported. I mean, it could be 10 times worse in India than it is in the United States. I don't know. I mean, that would mean it's 30 times higher than what gets reported. That would be horrible. So, and that may be. I mean, that's a sad statement about what India is going through. I have a lot of hope for India, and I think it's guys like Loy that hold the key to unlocking some of the potential for what can drive some of the value back to India. I think that as people look for to being realistic about what's wrong with India and trying to solve those, then it's an opportunity to be able to go out there and do that. So anyway, thanks a lot. I know this video's been long and rambling. Apologies are typically like that. So anyway, I just want to say, Loy, I'm sorry. I'm a big enough guy to admit that. I mean, at 6'1" and 300 pounds, I probably outweigh you. But listen, I'll be the bigger guy and say I'm sorry. I haven't seen you answering as much stuff on Quora or as many questions that used to be out there about you. So I'm hoping that this hasn't been a negative experience for you, and if it has, then it's entirely my fault. I'm sorry about that. All right, thanks YouTube. Thanks a lot. All right, let's do another video. Bye.